Thank you for being here. In this video, we are going to see the steps for installing and configuring OKRify. The prerequisite before installing the OKRify application is to check the chatter settings. So in your Salesforce org, go to your setup, search for chatter in setup, and then click on chatter settings and make sure the chatter setting is enabled. The main chatter setting is enabled. And also, if you scroll down, the action in the publisher, the enable actions in the publisher, this has to also be enabled. So these two settings are required for you to install the OKRify application. Then go to the Salesforce App Exchange. From the App Exchange, click Get It Now. Once you click on the Get It Now, you will be asked to enter your user ID and password for your Salesforce org. Enter your user ID and password. Then you will be provided with the options to install. Always select install for admins only. Click install. Now the installation may take few minutes. And once the installation is complete, generally Salesforce will send you an email. So you may see a message. So this basically says the installation just takes a little bit time. So you will receive an email once the installation is completed. So just click done and then wait for the email from Salesforce to confirm the installation is completed. Once OKRify is installed, you will see the app in the tabs. You will see OKRify. Search for OKRify settings and first click OKRify settings for loading the defaults and also creating some initial data. So in OKRify settings, go to the load defaults. So in this, basically by clicking these three buttons, you can complete most of the initial configuration automatically. So the first load defaults button, this will load all the default settings and also automatically schedule some of the background programs required to automatically update progress based on Salesforce data, based on reports, and also automatically updating progress nightly, things like that. All those programs will be automatically scheduled along with the default settings. So I'm going to click the first load defaults. So just give a minute. So after this loads, you can just click refresh. What you will see is in the general setting, you will see data populated now. We will talk more about the general setting later. Similarly, risk color setting, default settings, custom fields. Custom fields will still be empty. This is something that you can add later. And S object and KPI settings. Again, this you can add later. So all of this would be automatically populated when you click load defaults. Next, the add topics. What this will do is this will automatically, there is a settings called or an object called push topics, which is required for real-time updates when changes happen in meeting. And this will also create a permission set that's required for the add topics. So I'm just going to click this. So you can see the permission set is successfully created, and it will also set the records that's needed for the push topics. So finally, you see the load sample data. So this will create your first team, the first period, and also the first OKR. So this just kinds of sets the sample data so that it's easier for you to then either change it or add more data. So I'm going to load the sample data. So now that sample data is loaded. So now we can go to the OKRify tab. Okay, when you go to the OKRify application, you will be in the Hub tab. In the Hub, this is where a user will see all their OKR. So as you can see, already your first OKR is already built, and also along with the key results. Okay, and what actually happened is if you go to the teams, you will see. Let's go to all view. So you will see 3 teams got created, and in Acme, you will also see that John Connor is added as the team. John Connor is basically the user I have logged in with. So this is already added as a team member in this for this team, basically the main organization. And then if you search for periods, and let's go to all periods. So you can see the two automatically, the current period and current quarter is also automatically added. And let's go back to the hub. Here, let's open the OKR. Okay, now you see the first OKR that's already created. It's created for the period FY 2023, and the team is Acme, and you can see the key results are also created. So this way, you basically have your first OKR. You can continue to create OKR, or you can add more teams and also add more team members, or you can add future periods or strategic period, more periods in your periods. So all of that is possible. Now basically you're set to start using OKRify application. But I'll continue and show a few of the other configurations that is needed to complete the initial configuration in your org. So the next one is, we saw the settings. Let's go back to the OKRify settings. So one of the essential things in OKRify is ability to automate progress update for for the OKRs based on Salesforce object. To add an object as a KPI or S object, we need to select those objects in this setting, S object KPI, under the OKRify settings. So I'm going to add account. So in this, already in the background, the opportunity and the lead object are already available. So they are the defaults. Other than that, if you want other objects, you can add. So basically, I'm going to add account, and maybe I'll add case. Just we'll add a couple of them and then click update. So now these two objects will also be available when you create S objects, which is a way to automatically update progress, and KPI, which is again can be used to automatically update progress in scorecards and also in the just standalone KPIs. So this is important step to be done. Okay. Now let's go and set up the users. So go back to setup. In the setup, search for install packages. So install packages. Go to the install packages. In install packages, click on the manage licenses. So here, you will see that it's already assigned to the user that is basically installing the application. And here you will also see the status trial and the number of licenses allowed and when the trial will expire. And I'm going to click add users, and then it will show all the users that you can add. So I'm going to add these 3 users with the licenses. So now you can see 4 licenses used out of the 20 licenses. So now let's also go ahead and assign permission sets. I'm going to click John. So I'm clicking the permission set assignment. Click edit. So in this, you will see multiple permission sets, all with OKRify. So the OKRify admin is required for the administrator. Modify all gives access to modify all the KPIs or all the OKRs. So this is like the super admins for changing any data. Scorecard admin is required for anybody who's creating the scorecards. So I'm adding scorecard user is required for all the scorecard users. I'm adding OKRify user. This is the basic permission set required to use OKRify. Meeting admin to change meeting settings, meeting user to use meetings, and also add the push topic auto update. So this basically enables the almost real-time updates for meetings. I'm going to save this. So now for John Connor, the permissions are saved. We will do this for another user. So I'm going to go to users again, search for users. I'll go to the users. We'll do this for another user. Let's do it for basically Smith. Smith, we will just add the user. So we are not going to add the admin. We are going to add a scorecard user. We are going to add OKRify user. We are going to add meeting user, and we are going to add auto update. So for basic users, you would need these four. Additionally, for any managers who needs to create scorecard, I will also add the scorecard admin. Okay. So the other ones you don't have to assign to managers. This is more the so let's add even the scorecard admin. So this user can now create scorecards. So these others I'll keep more for the administrators. So let's save this. Okay. Now the users are set up. We saw how licenses are assigned and also the permission sets are assigned. So the next step is to enable topics for the objects such as objective template, KPI. These are basically topics are tags, what we call as tags in OKRify. This can be used for search. So we will enable that. To enable it, go click search for topics in the setup, click topics for objects. So here, find objective, click enable. In the fields, select objective name and the name, save it. Now do similarly for objective template. Click enable, click the objective name and name, and okay, I think that's good enough. Save it. Then go to KPI. Again, enable it for KPI. Do it for name and then save it. So now the topics are enabled for the objects that are required. OKRify provides 2 email notifications which can be scheduled weekly. So the first one is for updating key results. This will show overdue and the key results that are due this week. And the second notification is for meeting, where you will see all the upcoming meetings and the action items. So to schedule it, go to Apex class, click on Apex class, then you click schedule Apex. In the Apex class, click on search. So the first one we are going to schedule is basically the KO key result overdue notification schedule. Click on that. Provide a name for the job and basically schedule it. You can schedule any of those any days for the week, but we think Monday would be the best, and give like a start time of around 10 or 11 a.m. That works the best from our experience. So I'm going to save this. So we schedule the key result part of it. Now again click schedule Apex. Again search for it and do the meeting notification schedule. Again do it for Monday. Maybe do it little earlier. So 8 a.m. and then save. So now both the email notifications are set up. We have completed the required configuration for OKRify. So now you can actually go and create OKRs, KPIs, scorecard, and meetings. If you need to set up additional teams and or additional periods, you can also go ahead and do that and then start creating your OKRs and other things. We also have few more configurations which I'm going to show in the rest of the video. So the first is I'm going to quickly show how to create a period, and then I'm also going to show how to create a team and team members. So for periods, search for period, open a period. Again, go to all to look at all the periods that's available. So you have current FY and current period. OKRify also provides you the ability to create a strategic period. So I'm going to create a strategic period that is from 2021 to 2023. And then let's give a start date from 2021 to 2023. So now we have given 3-year strategic period. It doesn't read a parent. So and we can here go and do current strategic period, say. Okay. I'm also going to create one more period for future. Let's say for Q2. So we have Q2 FY 2023. For Q2, we are going to do from April to June. Let's copy the same name, and you can give here the parent, which is the FY23. Status will be future period. Okay. So in OKRify, you can create OKRs for future period. So this way, if you need to create something for Q2, you can also do it. Similarly, you can go ahead and create Q3, Q4, even the next year as future periods, future FY, future strategic period, and create your OKRs anytime. Now let's go ahead and do a couple of teams. So we have 2 teams here. I'm going to create one more team. Let's do sales NA team. The parent will be sales team. And I said, so now the team is created. Let's go ahead and create the team members. So let's add the team members. First one, we are going to add Matt Smith as the manager. So click the manager and you will see that the edit access changes. Then click new. Let's add also Jessica as just member, and maybe I'll add one more. We have Matt Smith, Jessica, and let's add David McGee also as a member. So now we have 3 users that are part of the team. I'm going to finally show some of the settings that we looked at before. So again, go to OKRify settings. I'll explain some of the settings here. So here, this is the name that will be used to send the email notification. So just if you want to change it to your organization, you can change here. And you see some of them. So there are more instructions about these in the OKRify help page. Please look at it. So I'll talk about some of the important ones. The My OKR side window in the hub. In the My OKR, here you can select which one will be the default side window. If you're using scorecard, you can select scorecard as the side window, or OKR if you guys are not using KPI scorecard. And you can do similarly, or select between OKR and KPI for any of the team side windows in the hub. You can also enable KPI, which is set as standard. So the enable OKR weights, basically this is, you can enable weights for each OKR so that the total progress of the team is calculated. Again, this is an optional. If you click it, there will be a weights field for each objective where you can enter weights, and then the total progress of the team will be calculated based on that. You can also disable the confidence if required. This is basically when users are manually updating the KR progress, you can give them the ability to update the date when you are providing. We don't recommend it, but if you want users to able to change the progress update date, then you can do it. So this basically shows the prediction in the trend graph based on just linear scale. So if you don't want to use prediction, you can disable it. The show future period. So this will automatically show any future OKRs in the hub. So basically it adds as a default in the filters, it will add the future periods for a user. So if you go in the hub, you will also see as a default the future period OKRs also. Again, this is based on that. This is strategic pillars. So if you enable this, you can also create strategic pillars. So strategic pillars are basically like focus areas that your organization focuses its strategy on. And this does not have a progress, but you can create OKRs and assign this to these strategic pillars so that you have different focus areas. So I'm going to click update. So now the default settings have changed. So risk color. So here you can change the colors if you required. We don't recommend it. These are based on best practices. If you want to change any of the risk colors, you can change it. Default settings. So here you see for company goals, these are the defaults. Current FY is the current FY period status. You can select it. Similarly, current period. In case if your organization just uses fiscal year goals, then you can just set up current FY for both company and team goals. And you can see the frequency of the update. This is default. You can change it for each key result. So if you want to change this instead of monthly to weekly, you can change it. Same thing, default confidence. So you can update it here. So I'm just going to update. I talked a little bit about it. If you want to add custom fields, you can create custom fields in objective and key result objects and add the API names here. We already saw the S object KPI. So that is the OKRify settings. So that kind of covers the initial setup part. There are few more like additional configurations you can do, which are more advanced level. These are all available in the OKRify help pages. If you have any questions, again, reach out to us at info@okrify.com.
Thank you for watching this video.